Welcome back to another podcast. I'm your host, Victor Long, my co-host, Mark. Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling great. Sorry, I hit my elbows, man. I'm still stinging a little bit. Okay, we're good. But yeah, how are you?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. By the time you're watching this, it's already been out for a couple of days, but if you could see on our screen right here, we have our first sponsored video on the gaming side of the channel. You know, it's all love. Shout out Booster Raid for showing love to us. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. We're playing it for y'all to see. It's a good time. It was fun. We had a great time playing a new series, new game.
Yep.
And yeah, if you want to learn more about that, go over there. But it's a big milestone for the channel, you know, after we just hit our anniversary a couple weeks ago, and
Yes,
we're on our
sir.
way to 3K subs. So it's a good feeling to finally have somebody come recognize us and be like, yo, we want to use our product and your stuff. And we said, yeah, because we actually fuck with the product. It actually went really well.
Yeah, it
Like,
did.
it was like, all right, cool, they're going to sponsor us and whatnot. But like, do we rock with the product?
Yeah,
It worked well. I could
went
see
smoothly.
I could see the use for it. So yeah, besides that, it's not what we're here to talk about. I just want to highlight that for a quick second. Mark, what's new with you? What's in your life? There's some things that's happening in the world, but if there's anything you want to touch on before we talk about this debate and Super Bowl halftime performances and all the other weird ass shit that's going on in the world.
Nothing much really.
Did you watch the debate?
I did watch a good amount of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing
Thoughts?
much. I mean,
Concerns, comments.
honestly, it looked like it went really well. And by really well, I mean like for Kamala Harris. I thought it was going to be like bad, but it actually
bad how?
bad as in like I was just assuming, but bad more so it was going to be kind of like how Donald Trump was, or not Donald Trump, how Joe Biden was, where you know Donald Trump just kind of like made a fool of him. Up there, you know.
That's the one. Like since she's come about as like the lead candidate, like we both commented on the fact that's like she at least seems like she, you know, is
Yeah,
cognizant and there, and like
Yeah.
Joe Biden isn't. So
exactly.
did you see the picture of him wearing a Trump hat?
No.
It was yesterday because yesterday was 9/11. So he was like at a 9/11. They were all weird. Like after the debate, literally the day after, like Trump, Harris, Biden were all together like at this 9/11 thing. So it was kind of awkward. But I guess like there was like a fireman or something handing him a hat, and like Biden, without thinking about it, he just threw it on, and it was a Trump hat. So now there's photos of him wearing a Trump hat going around.
Oh man, now this it's like you can't make it up sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna use it. He's gonna use it against us now. But yeah, I thought it was gonna be like that. Just kind of like he was just gonna like throw jabs at her, and just she wouldn't be able to know how to like come back with it and stuff like that. But it seemed like because a lot of the times, I don't know if it's really just men, but we just like we can't go without just like letting somebody talk like, you know, smack to us. So you have to say something back. But it seems like for her, it was more so like, okay, I'm gonna let you say what you need to say, but then I'm just really gonna come back with like some factual stuff about you
Yeah.
that needs to be heard, because a lot of people might not know about it, because a lot of it just goes under the rug, or it comes up and then like it just quickly just disappears. But it's like, no, I'm gonna let people know like, this person, you know, let's not talk like forget about that you did this, or you're actually, you know, been impeached and all this stuff like that. So it's just like it was pretty good how she like handled a lot of it. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like, you know,
I forgot he
Thought
was
it
almost
were.
impeached like 2 or 3 times.
yeah, you know, convicted, a lot of that.
Well, that's still they're delaying all of that. His sentencing.
course.
They're delaying his sentencing until after the presidential election
Of course.
because they passed it that if you become president, you can't be like charged with any of that stuff. So
Exactly.
if he wins, then he's kind of like gets off scot free. But if he doesn't, then he's kind of fucked.
But that's so dumb. It's like, why should that even matter? It should
That
be,
was just put in place during his whole situation.
That's like so dumb. It should just be regardless. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you gotta charge. Like, come on, bro. Some people get charges and can't even work at like a grocery store.
Mine and he's fucking
and
president
he's about to be a president
for doing
like,
hush money and all this other
come
shady
on, bro.
shit.
Like, that's so dumb, man. But whatever, you know. But yeah, I thought it went good. I thought it went well. You know, like I said, better than what I had thought it probably would have been. But yeah, it seems like Kamala, you know, she like really touched on a lot of stuff. At least like gave good answers for like what they asked of her, you know, and whatnot. I'm not going to try to sound biased, but it was just from my point of view, it didn't seem like she really was like going around trying to like hide the answer or whatever like that. There was one time where they were bringing up the fact that at one point it was like, oh, you said that you were, you know, for this, but now your policy has changed. So like, why is that and stuff like that? So that's where it was kind of like, oh, you know, it looks like something's, you know, like changing with you, you know. But yeah, how'd you think?
Yeah, I feel like I will say that between the two of them, like she was more composed and didn't wild out or say anything like outrageous or like clap back at him in a way. At least not too bad, just because like it only just makes her look bad. It's better. It's better for her in the long term to just be seem level headed.
Yeah.
But I will say that like my takeaway, yeah, I don't know. I thought I was gonna go into another one of our videos and it didn't, but it's okay. I will say that like my takeaway from both sides is like they both avoided questions, just did it differently. Because like the entire debate, it was you could ask Trump a question, and his whole way to get around it was to like either he would touch on it briefly or like not touch on it at all and just yell out a bunch of buzzwords to like get people riled up and like fear monger.
Millions.
So just be like, oh, like, you know, how would you handle this situation in Afghanistan? And he'd just be like, nuclear weapons, Biden, lives lost, Putin, I'm gonna win. And it's just like it was like, all right, cool, but like, what does that have to do with what you were talking about? And you just use words that like would trigger people, to like, especially his audience, to be like, nah, like he know what he's talking about. Or with Harris on the flip side, it would be like she would answer level headed, but she would just go on tangents and not really answer the question. Like at one point, like they were talking about Putin or like Russia and Ukraine and all this other stuff, and Trump brought up something, and then the moderator was like, you know what, like fair enough, like Kamala Harris, have you actually met Vladimir Putin in person? And she just went on this 3-minute tangent and never said yes or no whether or not she's met him in person or not. And it's just that was like a repeating theme. Like neither of them were answering questions; they just dodged them in different ways. Mm-hmm. But she was more level-headed. He said more outrageous shit, which is like expected, and he seemed more rattled. So if anybody had an edge in any of it, it would be her in that case. But besides that, like I don't think we learned anything new about either candidate in that situation.
No, I mean, like, they're politicians, you know. At the end of the day, you got to realize that a lot of times when there's debates, I feel like you just got to take it with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, unfortunate to say, it's like they're not going to give you everything on a silver platter. It's more like you got to have to, like, do the homework yourself to figure out certain things. And even then, you might not even get the full answer.
Yeah, but that's so ass backwards. Like, you would wish that, like,
you would wish they would just be like straightforward with it, right up front with it. But unfortunately, you got to do all this extra stuff just to get to know like who the candidate is and all that stuff and what their policies are. But yeah, I mean, after all of this, I mean, are you planning on still thinking about not voting for either one?
No, because we don't really have a choice at this point. Like, very, very early on, I talked about like Kennedy, like RFK Jr.
But then
that's a whole other story, but he basically dropped out and it was like, yeah, like I'm endorsing Trump because
wasn't he Democrat?
Yeah. Well, he was independent.
Oh yeah.
But
that's true. That makes sense.
He was independent, but his
a lot of his
policies were more leaning towards Democrat
stuff. And just like,
but he dropped out and went to support Trump because he felt as though like since he was independent and didn't affiliate with either side, but his policies were more Democrat leaning. Since he was like, I guess he was making some type of like, he was gaining a following or gaining momentum. He said that the Democratic Party were kind of suppressing him because basically he was getting a way of taking the Democratic spot or like knocking out the Democratic like candidacy. So apparently there was some things done behind the scenes that kind of like suppressed RFK Jr.'s like attempt at running. Since he was like, all right, since you guys are getting in my way, I guess because they were so similar in a sense and it was getting in the way of Kamala Harris, they kind of sabotaged him. So he's like, all right, fuck y'all. Like, I'm going to go and support Trump. I don't know how, like, true that is or, like, what kind of, how he came to that solution. I guess he's like, fuck, like, this country's fucked either way if it's not me. And he's like, I'm just going to go against the guys that took me out, kind of like out of spite. Because it's like his policies didn't really align with like Trump stuff at all, at least from my understanding. He was more so like trying to empower like the middle class and lower class American people. But now since that got fucked up, he's out. And now we're essentially down with these two options. If RFK was still in it and he was like an even race and they all three had to debate against each other and it's like, all right, he has a chance of winning, I'll go that direction. Yeah. But now he's going against the guy that like I can't vote for. I personally like morally can't vote for.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Kamala.
It's either nothing or not Trump.
Yeah. So yeah,
I there's nothing that could like ever entice me to vote for that man, just because I don't have a single. I don't think he's like been open about like what his actual physical policies would be. Even during the debate, he's like, I have concepts of a plan.
Yeah.
I don't have a plan, but I have concepts.
No, yeah.
And you'll hear about them in the near future. So it's like, bro, you were president for 4 years, and then you had another 4 years to prepare for rerunning, because like I'm assuming you always had intentions of rerunning.
Yeah, of course.
And you have nothing to show for, like, you should be way more prepared than what you were. And then just on a moral standpoint, just like his past and like even as failed businesses, like physical evidence of like recordings of him being like a sexist or like misogynist or grabbing people by the pussy and all their weird shit, photos of him with like that one guy with the island and a bunch of other stuff. So it's like, at least for me, no matter who's on the seat as a president, like there's going to be the good and the bad. Like even if you look back at Obama's time, it's like, yeah, like he got the country at a shitty time, literally after the housing crisis and shit collapsed. We got the shit deal, and he like built a lot of shit up and helped a lot of people. But on the flip side, he's known to have killed like more people overseas than like most presidents have in like recent memory. So it's like, you can't really like have all your boxes checked, and also like, would the result have been any different if somebody else was in the seat at the time? Same thing with COVID. Like when Trump was in office, like how much different could it have been if Trump wasn't in, if somebody else was in office? Like could we have avoided a lot? I would say yes, because he denied the existence of it like for a while. True. But I don't think that like the state of the country would be that much different.
No, yeah. It's just safe to say that no matter what, it's like
our essence of a country, we're fucked up. So like whoever's in that seat is gonna have to do fucked up shit. Kamala Harris, if she wins, is gonna have to do fucked up shit.
No, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's more so like no matter what, they're gonna have to, like do certain things. They can't like get around it. As much as they want to try to be a good person, unfortunately, they got to do these things that like to us it might just seem like, yo, why the heck would you do that? But it's like sometimes they have no choice, and that's what sucks. Like you wish that they could just be like, oh yeah, like we're going to solve world hunger. Bam. We're going to do every good thing possible to make sure it happens. Then it's like, no, meanwhile, it's like we got to take from like another country to like
make it happen. Well, we don't have to, but like, that's how we roll, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like even signing in new laws. It's like, all right, cool. We can sign this really big law that's like going to help a lot of people. But then the booklets of like signing that contract or whatever, the paperwork is this tall. And to get that thing passed, you have to also sign off on like a bunch of other shit that's like sucks. Like it's just weird how they like perform it. They give you like these 1,000-page packets, so you're not going to look at them and like
because in this country, it's like in order to get around one law, you have to go to another law, and in order to get through that law, you got to go to another law. It's like you got to go through so many things because like it's so hard to like we always keep the old law like in place. It's like nothing that gets rid of it. It's just something else that gets put on top of it to kind of like get around it. So it's like it's weird.
And even then when she spoke on the situation with Hamas and Israel, she was just like, yeah, like it sucks because you watch the news and you see how biased they are towards Israel just because of how much money the U.S. puts into Israel. But it seems like she was kind of like trying to hint at the fact, like, yeah, like, both sides have innocent lives being lost, but like both sides deserve to like defend themselves. And I want like the whole city, like I want a ceasefire. Like I don't want any of this to continue. And like Hamas does not equal Palestine. Like Hamas is a group that is, kind of separated from Palestine as a nation. And, Israel's fighting against Hamas, not against Palestine. But since it's all the same shit, they, not the same shit, but they're in the same area. They've been moving them into like camps and shit. So like innocent people are getting pulled into this thing that has nothing to do with them. And that's why it's such a big issue. But yeah, they're never, like the US is never going to outwardly say like, yeah, like we're trying to like stop Israel because they're laying in bed with Israel. So that's kind of where I was circling back to with the idea of like, you kind of got to pick and choose like the lesser of two evils in a sense.
Yeah. There's no, like I said, good option. There's no good answer. It's more so like, who do you just feel like would actually like have a better moral compass of like things and getting to actually make sure things go right and not like put in more of a deeper hole and stuff like that. So,
and more so just like ethically speaking, like somebody like as two people of color and people like I have women in my life and all that other like that I care about and would like to have protected by law. And there are certain policies within like Trump and his side of it, JD Vance, who's like masturbating on couches. Yeah, just can't align with that. Like I can't, as a person of color, even align with that, or people with like a mother, sister, grandmother,
Yeah.
people who are members of the LGBTQ plus community. Like I can't go against that because I have people in my life that are a part of those things that I care about, as well as my own interests as well. And that whole project 2025 shit scares the shit out of me. So I just can't. I don't care what you got to say about that, to be honest.
Yeah. It's a difficult
Them,
situation.
not you.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. Like, yeah, there's just a lot of topics like brought up, and hearing both sides, it's like, you know, you can tell like one side seems like, you know, it's more like, okay, we're gonna try to fix it. And Trump is my thing with like Trump is just personally, I feel like it's a lot of just like going through it with money with him, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember she brought up a fact of like how he like in other countries, you know, their leaders in those other countries like Putin and stuff like that, they like want him to obviously be president.
They prefer for him to be,
because like, you know, like that way they can do deals and who knows what else behind the scenes and stuff like that, because you know they're buddy in that sense.
They'd be beneficial to them. That's why like a lot of, at least I think in the last election as well, or the previous one, but it was shown that like on Facebook, for example, there were a lot of like Russian-based accounts or Russian-based like people basically doing a lot of pro-Trump content to like kind of help him win, because it was in their best interest that he won. Yeah. So like that just proves like that just shows again.
And she was just saying how like, you know, they kind of got Trump like wrapped around their finger, because like she was just saying like it's so like sad to see how like easy it is for them to manipulate you.
Yeah, and just be like, you're the best, man. And they're like, yeah, I know, right?
And, you know, Trump's just like, yeah, awesome, thank you guys. But it's just like, it is scary to think like that, because like I just like in my head it's like, yeah, they want him because it's in their best interest. But I'm just thinking like, Trump, do you really think like, I'm not going to say take a bullet for you because I doubt it. But like just that idea of like, do you really think they actually are trying to be buddies with you, or just obviously try to get one under you? And that's where I think, you know, that's why I really always think about that. Because then I'm like, you know, Trump has never been anything as far as like the military or anything like that, you know?
Or like, politics or
anything like that. Meanwhile, these guys have definitely like, you know, been through some stuff and like they are people who definitely like, I feel like, no, I wouldn't say that, you know, but I just think, you know, like it's a little bit more serious over there with things. And I just feel like over here, it's like a little bit more relaxed. And somebody like Trump, I just don't think is like the right person to be able to like put us through it if we need him to, you know?
Nah. And then like his whole thing was like, oh, he was like, Mr. President, or yeah, he was like, Mr. President, how you've made remarks about her race in the past. Like, why do you feel the need to even address any of those things? So you mentioned like, oh, is she black? Is she Indian? I don't really get it. So why do you feel the need? He's like, I don't care. She can be black. I don't care at all. She's like, I'll just say this. She's like, she's black. She put out to get to the top. And yeah, I said it. And I'm like, bro, like,
still not helping. I don't get it.
Yeah, like one, you brought it up yourself, and like the concept of somebody being mixed race is 100% possible, and it's been a thing for forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you're all of a sudden confused about that. But like why bring that up and say you don't care?
Yeah.
One, and then two, say she slept her way to the top when like I don't know why that's become a thing, but it's not the case. If anything, she's
woman, that's why.
She spent more time within politics than he has, because like he spent his years being on TV or like being a businessman or whatever it may be. She was in law enforcement, worked her way up within that, and like worked her way into politics and made her way where she is now. So if anybody has more like experience or like skin in the game, it would be her.
Yeah.
So I don't really know where that comes from. And for the people that are like saying, oh, what is Kamala's plan or whatever, like she stated like word for word, like what her ideas would be for certain things. And if you actually look at the policy like straight up, unless you're making like I think, what was it? I think it's like $250K up. you don't really benefit, at least from like a financial, like, and like a tax perspective, you don't benefit from Trump at all.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how many people do you know make 250K plus?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody underneath that, which is, I would say, the majority of people, I would say 98% of this country, at least financially from a taxation standpoint, would benefit more from Kamala Harris, which only further proves that like his ideas are more to build up the upper class as opposed to the like anybody beneath that.
Yeah.
And it's his own personal gain because he also benefits from that as well because he for sure makes more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really, I don't understand it, you know? And then she almost called him a motherfucker on the mic and I almost died laughing.
Was that towards the end? Because I don't.
Somewhat, yeah. So I wanted to watch it from start to finish, but I got like distracted and then like a half hour went by. So I tuned in like for the majority of it.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing a video in the past. She was like, somebody was like, oh, like, what's your favorite curse word? And she was like, I can't say it. She was like, it starts with an M and ends with a. So everybody's like, oh, like motherfucker. So she's on the podium, right? And I forgot what it was that they were actually discussing about. She's like, yeah. She's like, and he's trying to like, you know, misdirect things and say that I'm Joe Biden, and that's clearly not the case. And she was like, and this former president, like she paused and like was about to say something else, and she's like, this mother.
Wow.
But that was funny.
I mean, it's understandable to go against someone like Trump and not almost slip something out.
Or like seeing her face throughout the whole thing where he would say something, she'd be like, like, fuck is you on, bro? Really?
Yeah, I mean, like you realize like that's just what he does. He rambles, like you said.
Then it was the whole thing of like, he said that immigrants are eating their pets in Springfield.
Eating their pets.
In Springfield.
They're eating them.
Yeah. I was like, bro, what are you on? Like, what does that mean?
That's what I'm saying. I was confused and I was like, I'm gonna let him cook.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not getting anywhere.
Nah.
He's still letting me.
And then apparently this is like a real thing that like people are like afraid of, like, or speaking about, because they're talking about like Haitian immigrants. And they're saying that Haitian immigrants were eating pets in Springfield. First it was Mexicans, now they're coming for the Haitians.
Yeah, I don't know.
In China.
I didn't hear about any of that, so that's why I was like confused.
I was curious, so I looked into it to like see what was going on. Like, yeah, there's like not just him, but like other like Republican leaning people. Like, yeah, like the X, Y, and Z is happening, and then people in the comments are, yo, like I live in Springfield. Ain't nobody eating anybody's pets. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, if nobody like talked about it, like
it's just fear mongering, bro. It's just all like just using buzzwords or shit to trigger people, or like it's the same as the news.
Yeah.
When you turn on the news and they're like, oh, like X, Y, and Z passed away today in this place and whatever, like weapons of like just like those type of key words, like weapons of mass destruction or terrorism or Hamas or like anything else you could think of like that, where it's like, oh, the border or immigrants, jobs lost, lives lost, this and that. It's like, once I hear that, people that like lean towards him is like, yeah, like so-and-so is happening. Like, like that. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So it's just dumb, bro. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's just a weird thing. Then you look more into it, and people really believe in that shit that's going on. Another thing that I saw after the debate, they were saying that she was wearing like earrings that were like headphones. So people were telling her what to say in her ear. Because there's like a brand, I forget the name of it, but there's a brand that have like in-ear headphones. They like look weird. They kind of like, you can't see them very well. They rest inside of your ear, and it's like a little ring. And they're pretty cool, but like I own too many headphones to try and buy another pair.
Yeah.
But then I think they released something else where it was like you put it on your earlobe as an earring, and it's literally just like a pearl, but like behind it is like a speaker, like a headphone. So they were saying that she was wearing those during the debate and shit, but like it doesn't really look like it. It just looks like she's wearing regular pearl earrings. Because like the ones that they show that they have the headphones or whatever, they're like husky as shit, bro. Like they're like big ass pearls. So it's just a lot of conspiracy shit. Then they said the moderators weren't fair. The lady, I forget her name, but the lady moderator, he said something. He was like, oh yeah, they're aborting babies after they're born.
I know. And she
was like, there's no state or anywhere in this country where that's legal to do so.
And she just kind of went right over the camera.
She's like, Miss Harris.
Yeah. Because it's like, bro.
Your response.
Yeah, because it's like, bro, come on. Like, and that's the thing that's scary. Like, I'm not even a woman, but it's like to have a man just blurt out words like that who has such like influence and so much power, just say these things about a woman's body and just declare like thinks like this is what they can do and what they can go through, and like there should be no issues. It's just like, bro, like
And there's people that believe it though, like men and women that believe it.
And it's just like crazy. It's like, no, like, and he said that something like you can abort the baby after it's born.
Yeah,
it's
he was like after 9 months, and she was like, that's literally like not a thing. Like that's literal murder.
Yeah, like bro, not even. I think it's like you can't even do it after like 6. Like it's
it depends what state, but
yeah, it's like bro, like you talking about after it's born.
You
like,
can't do third trimester.
Yeah, it's like come on, bro. Like so you just I'd rather you just not say it.
Yeah,
like, you'll be better off.
But that's just more of that fear mongering shit because everybody like you hear like children in danger and people like, oh my god, like they're really doing that. They're eating the puppies. They're eating.
Yeah, bro.
You got to do something.
Man. It's insane.
So that was hilarious. When do we have to vote? November 5th or something like that?
I think it's October 20th.
October?
I think it's in October, yeah.
Holy shit.
I think it's October 20 something. 21st.
It's coming up, man.
Yeah.
At least I'll be here.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. I thought it was like, or do we vote and then it's counted the same day, isn't it?
I don't know because again, like,
because the polls close at like a certain point. I think it's like at a certain time.
I don't know if it's just like 2 days just because of the time difference stuff. I don't know. I don't think so though. But because I don't know if that's weird though. Because for us, we would have to do it like super early in the morning. Then if that was the case.
No, I think they just keep counting as they continue to come in. Like as soon as the East Coast ones close, they kind of start counting those, and then as that they do that whole show.
Because I think for us, I don't know if it's 7 or 8 when they start closing.
Yeah. Because it's always late when they get announced. It's like midnight. We're like, all right, cool. Like,
I remember when Trump got elected, bro. I was literally looking at my phone, looking at the red and blue bar going
and then
up.
you see the guy like it's like fucking NFL football. It's like you see here on the map. So if Hillary wins this, Iowa, Utah, and this and that and that, it's like, yo, she's not winning, bro. I'm going to sleep.
That. I was like, bro, there's no way. There was at one point during that I was like, all right, she has a chance. And then I saw it like later in the night. I was like. Went to sleep. I was like, well, it's over.
Got to go to school the next day. All these people, all these people go all hype and shit.
Yeah, I went to a Hispanic high school, so I was fine with that.
I knew I was one of 5 Hispanics in my class. Bro.
Yeah, we were all devastated. Like, no one said a single thing. Yeah, it was.
And then there's that one teacher at your school, which is like.
He has the hat on. Yeah. Hello, welcome, guys. Good morning.
It's a good day to be an American, am I right?
We're just like,
we won't jump you after school.
I don't care if I fail this class. I promise I'm not letting you leave today.
Shit is wild, bro. I can't take it. I just need it to be done. Whatever the fate is, I just need it to happen and continue. Because at the reality of it, like, think about it. Every time you've seen an election come in, have you really felt like a difference the next day, or like what? Like, no, it's never that impact. Where you're you
gotta understand.
Vibe,
I mean, like you said, the one time it's like you don't really see the policies take place until like after.
Yeah, literally when they're done is when
like that. Yeah, it's sad though to have a guy like that, in power, because not only am I worried about policies, I'm just worried about the appearance and just like, him being on the news and him saying stuff because once he gets the actual seat, it's like now it's like okay, now he feels like he has a reason to now be on camera more, and now he's going to say stuff more and, interviews and all that stuff. So it's just like the memes are going to come out, and it just sucks because like, I'm just going to look at it like, wow, not me. And I'm not going to say we, other people decided to really put this man in the seat again.
Yeah. And at least like, here's how I see it. If he wins, it is for sure the last time we have to deal with him.
Yeah.
For certain.
Let's hope they don't throw it. He throws in a policy.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes in, Project 2025 basically say like allows you to be like a dictator type shit, like where you can like run for, you could be president for as long as you want. That's why that shit's kind of low key scary.
She said that too about him because that's like the type of people like he's friends with and stuff like that. Like the people.
Then he's trying to do the same by like implementing all that stuff into power.
Yeah.
So it's un poquito spooky. So we don't know what's gonna happen. And if she wins, we get our first woman president, and it's a woman of color. And we kind of finally, as a country, cross that check off. And like, we're kind of done with that. You know what I mean? Like, at least, like, especially with like Obama, it's like, all right, cool. Like, we got the first one in.
We got him in.
And now it's no more like, oh, first this, first
happen,
that.
Yeah.
Like, now you've seen it's possible. We can move on from it. Same thing with like a woman president. It's like, all right, now she's in. It's also another black woman / Indian woman. It's a woman of color. We got the box off. It's possible now, so now it's no longer taboo. So it's just a matter of this. She's just a candidate.
Yeah.
If you want her in, you want her in.
Honestly, I'm excited for a woman president. It's weird enough. Like, I for other people, that might be weird for them, but I'm excited for it. I don't know. I feel like No matter what, I've always said it's good to have like a woman's opinion. Like,
Mhm.
you know, like if you're in a group of people, like it's always like of just like three guys, like having a woman there changes everything. I
Yeah.
feel like having a woman's presence is definitely good for, especially for this country. You know?
For sure. But then at the end of the day, it's like people make it such a big deal, which it is, and like obviously we need to have our first, but
Mhm.
it's not just like even with Biden, like he's not the main. Like obviously he's like the face, but there's a bunch of other people
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Biden. So like there are already women making laws and policies and shit. So like people acting all weird about it is like
Yeah, I guess
not
it's
much
just
is really
the-
gonna. It's just the face value of the
the
fact that
face
somebody's
value,
up there.
yeah, but the title like president, you
Yeah.
know, like woman president, because then it's the first man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not the first lady anymore.
It's gonna be hard for her though if she wins.
Yeah,
Like she's gonna be on a
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
microscope, bro. To be
Yeah.
like if she slips, I was like, oh look, see,
this is what
yeah,
happens
when you put a woman in,
yeah.
look what happens.
Well, that's bro. I just wish that Trump just like in running for this term. That means he's like he can't run anymore. But
Nah,
it's like
he
say
can come back if he wants to.
Yeah, and it's so annoying because then we're gonna have to hear that. You know,
Yeah.
like oh, you see what happened? She went for running.
Yeah.
She's president now. And look at you know.
But if she
like,
does
oh.
well and she reruns, then like it's a little bit easier that time around for her to be like,
I mean, yeah, but you know him.
Yeah.
He'll still try to find anything that she did wrong. Yeah, but whatever.
yeah, that's
Not
good.
here
And then
now.
she's a woman of color too, so it's like
Yeah,
we're gonna see.
we don't see, but I'm hopeful.
Sorry to make this a whole politic thing, but like that's
Yeah.
a big deal. That was a big thing that happened, and it was hilarious / scary, and it's great. But I want to talk about other things, but it's like, it's not a big deal. Kendrick's
Not as
performing the
big as that.
halftime at the Super Bowl. Again, he did the other one with the group.
I was like, yeah, I
with
know
the group.
did
He
it
did the group,
before,
but it's
yeah.
not the same. So it's gonna be just him, which is cool. But like he's doing it in New Orleans. People are like, why not Lil Wayne? It's like he could still come out, y'all relax. But it's like, do you really want Lil Wayne to be the head of a Super Bowl? They've held it like 2 other times in New Orleans and never brought him on. And the last 2 times he was like super relevant when it
Mhm.
happened. So like if it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. He dropped a diss track against Drake again. I think
Was it
that's
on
what I was
Instagram?
hearing. Yeah, he posted on Instagram. It was like he was spitting a little bit, but like I'm tired of like I thought it was over.
Yeah, it is, and I
Um,
think it's just more so like he's trying to milk it, you know.
Yeah,
and to
Every-
each his own. It's like you know, go ahead, get your piece. You know, it's like
But then also he did that video and people were trying to like nitpick it and be like, oh, he's talking about Drake and this and that. He's like, oh, you know, they know take 2s and try and win the championship. Da 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 da. So he did that little video. Cool. I know he's gonna do a good job. People are like, oh, what songs is he gonna play? We're not gonna act like Kendrick don't got hype songs.
and we all not gonna act like he's not gonna play. You know, Not like-
Yeah, that's gonna be the whole show.
Yeah, I was like,
He's gonna make 5 different versions of it.
If I'm being honest, when I heard that he was doing it, I was just like, kind of like, not because I don't appreciate him, appreciate
Yeah.
his music, but it's just like, it's now turning into what Philly is for the like, you know,
Made in America?
Meek Mill,
Oh, Meek
like,
Mill.
you know, like you know, Dreams and Nightmares, where it's
Yeah.
like, I just feel like we're hearing it so much, and it's just like usually when you see an artist go up or says they're going to be for the, you know, the halftime for Super Bowl, you're always like, oh, wow, like that's so awesome. Like, and you're sitting here thinking like, oh, like I wonder what he's going to play or what she's going to play. And then I'm like Rihanna, like she went up and I was just like, even though I know her songs, like she hasn't been so relevant, but everybody respects her and loves her music. So seeing her go up there and playing her songs, you're just like, oh,
like she
snaps.
got
Like,
bangers for real.
yeah, like you just couldn't remember them, but when they came on, you were hype. I feel like for Kendrick, it's like with all of this happening now, with him with the diss and Drake and everything, it's like I can already like assume the songs he's gonna bring up. As far as how he does it, though, you know, I'm excited to see that.
And who he brings out.
Yeah, who he brings out. That's always the most exciting part.
Also, unless I'm like forgetting something, if he does this, he plays a song and all that, this might be the craziest like massacre of a rap beef I have ever seen in my entire life or even heard of.
Mm.
Like where, like obviously, you know, like they have rap beefs and people go like bar for bar with each other. They drop tracks. They talk about how they don't fuck with each other, whatever it may be. And like there'll be one side that like obviously wins.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never seen it drawn out to this extent where like he obviously won the beef. It became a hit single that's been playing in clubs and memes and all this other shit constantly. It's been still going on for the entire summer up until now, and it's going to continue and it's going to finish when he performs in front of literally like 50 million people. And he's never done the Super Bowl either, Drake, and I don't think he ever will. And he's going to get to do this. That's the biggest nail in the coffin, and I don't think anybody has ever done it in this fashion ever.
No,
To arguably the most popular rapper to ever live.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane. Like you said, it's gonna definitely like nail to the coffin. And
There's no coming back from, because obviously he had another beef.
Yeah.
The other one you could think of, which also includes Drake, is with Pusha T when he dropped it. He had a son, but it's like cool, like that came out whatever, over with. So much dirt came out during this shit. The song is basically calling him a pedophile. And he's gonna go in front of the entire world essentially, singing a song about it, and people are gonna sing it back.
But yeah, that's true. And my thing that I think about is like, it's funny because like Drake's still gonna come out with a song probably like day after.
He's come out with a couple singles. He's gonna
I know he's
probably gonna drop an album. He's gonna do some shit.
He's gonna have it released,
but
like
it's not gonna
after.
fit the same.
It's not. No, it's not. No.
But yeah, that's it on that. We'll get up out of here because we going over time. But yeah, man, check out the sponsored video if you haven't already. You don't have to sign up for the product, but if you feel like it'll be useful to you, try it out, and then we also get a little cut for it. So we appreciate that. But other than that, see you guys on Thursday for the next video. We love you guys always. We'll see you soon. Bye.